You know, playoff time always, it always says no time for friends. You know, the friendships and everything kind of gets stopped right there. You know, Zeke, we know you had one probably the most public and most famous relationships with Magic. Take us through that when, you know, it's playoff time, friends, you got that line, but you still got to win. You know what it is.
We friends off the court.
Absolutely.
But Magic Johnson had exactly what I wanted. He had the ring.
Right.
And make no mistake about it, he knew and the world knew I want to take that.
Right.
And it wasn't personal,
no.
But you just got what I want.
And you got to go through L.A.?
And I got to have it.
And you got to go through L.A.
And if you don't let me have it, right, I'm going to ask for it nicely. But if you don't give it to it nicely, then I'm going to have to take it.
Yeah, you're going to definitely have to take it.
Because that's what being a champion is all about. And Magic was the same way.
Right.
We was cool until we got to the finals. And when we got to the finals, remember, he had a room in his house. It was called Isiah Room. And when I used to fly out to L.A., he would leave a car for me, right? I would drive by the crib. We would eat dinner and everything together. We get to the finals, ain't no car.
Right.
Ain't no room.
That's what it is.
Wait,
right.
and Zeke, you can't come to the house. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Oh, you're respecting that, though?
I respect that because I think you play harder against your friends.
Absolutely.
Especially if you got to hang out with them in the summer. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's like it's playing against your brother. So I wanted to kill him.
Right.
And he wanted to kill me.
Right.
For no other reason because he had exactly what I wanted. And I wanted that ring. I wanted to be a champion.
Man, you know what's crazy? He understood that. He probably knew your temperature. Tay, I know you got a brother. You know, I know when siblings, y'all hoop, Mark and Pal, on the biggest stage that you can compete, man, other than, you know, the finals. But playoff time, just to talk about that, siblings hooping right now.
Yeah.
In that respect, it's a little different from friends.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely different from friends. But at the same time, I could pretty sure attest to you that Marc Gasol is all business when he steps out on that court.
Absolutely.
I had the privilege to play with Mark in Memphis for a couple years, and I know for sure that he's keeping everything on the court business as usual. Might be talking to him, you know, after the game once he get home or get to the hotel and things like that. But once he step out on that court, you know, he dap each other up before the game starts.
Right.
But after that, it's over. It's between these lines.
Do you believe, and I believe this, but do you believe when it's players that, you know, friends against personal or different vendettas, you go a little harder at those versus friends? You know, friends, y'all going at each other at a certain temperature, but it's that one player that, I'm not going to say you don't like, but y'all got some energy. You know, y'all got some of that, you know, y'all know what I'm saying, some of that bulldog, that mano-a-mano energy. You know, that's actually out there, right? We can all attest to that. That's
absolutely.
Right.
And I think it's status. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, Magic was,
I was going to ask
the number one
yours?
point guard.
I was going to say, who was yours?
Well, it was Magic and Stockton.
I was just going to say, you and Stockton kind of had that little energy.
Yeah, and every time we played against each other, it was a different level because we was all, you know, we all had conceded that Magic was the best point guard, right? But after that, it was like, damn.
No, this hands this in the air. This in the air,
I'm next to Magic.
Right.
Stockton was thinking he was next to Magic. Then Mark Price jumped up and like he was next to Magic, and I was like,
Zeke, you feel it? You feel it? You feel it?
Absolutely. Every time you walked out on the floor, it was about dominance. And the way I looked at it was like, and my brothers and them taught me this. They said, look, every time you play against these cats, right, from high school to college,
gotta let them know.
My brother said, Junior, for the next 10 years, that dude got to be in your back pocket.
Right.
Every time you see him, he got to jump in your back pocket. You can't fight with everybody.
Right.
You can only fight with 2 or 3 people.
Right.
The rest of the league, all them, they got to know, like, you can't have a hard night with me.
Right.
You just got to let me win tonight. Let me get my 20, let me get my 10, we good.
Right.
The other 2, I'm going to fight with.
Right.
But everybody else, I'm on.
So you had one? Let me hear it.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, me, you know, coming to the league and once again, you know, as I explained earlier, not playing and stuff like that and watching guys that were a little bit older than I was. And I had to guard all the time. Right. You know, the T-Max, the Kobe's and stuff like that.
The best scorer and stuff, too.
And, you know, I took that responsibility, you know, when I watched and examined, you know, sitting on a bench, Rip's a scorer, Chauncey's a scorer, playmaker. When I do have my opportunity, what do I have to go out there and make a statement for myself and to earn a coach's trust to have a rookie out there with those guys? So I made the emphasis, I got this guy, I got him, I'm taking him. I have to find something to help the team.
All right.
How do you keep your mind right when Kobe going off or T-Mac going off?
Right.
You know, how do you stay tight? Because, you know, when them guys do something, the whole building go crazy, right?
No question.
And how do you stay focused? Because
Great question.
You know, everybody can't do that.
Right. It was perfect for me because I'm mild mannered. I'm low key, as you know.
Right,
You know,
right.
you being in Minnesota last
doubt,
year.
no doubt.
I'm low key. Nothing. I'm never too high, never too low. So once I saw those things happen, I could be here.
You didn't get mad?
I could be here. Oh, I could be mad,
Right.
but you would
It was
never see
evenly
it.
balanced is what
You
you're
would
saying.
never see it.
Right.
So I could always be here.
You didn't want to get back?
I always knew that these guys will have a run at some point in the game.
Right.
I just have to make sure it ain't at the right time of
Right.
the game.
Tay, is it momentum killers that a defender can take on a, you know, we saw Joe Johnson. And everybody who knows Joe Johnson, we've been watching basketball for the last 20-some years. We know Joe Johnson's game. When you saw that, the first thing you're thinking is, uh-oh, here it comes. And as a defender, are you able to recognize those moments? Are you as present as he is in those moments?
No question.
Right.
I'm in that moment. And for example, if you know when Joe hits that shot the other night, and I see that there's a smaller guy, undersized guy guarding him, and I'm a defender, and I know I'm not guarding him, I'm coming.
Right,
go.
right.
Somebody else beating me.
And you got to know that.
Somebody else beating me.
That's
And
what
I
we
think
somebody
that's
else.
what
Somebody got
LeBron
to come.
James, we saw that with LeBron James and Paul George
Gave
the
up
other
the
night.
ball.
He's like, hey, somebody else can beat us. We've been watching Joe do this, right?
Yeah.
The difference between the Cavaliers defensively against Paul George and the Clippers defensively against Joe Johnson, LeBron James recognized, okay, somebody else going to beat us. And the Clippers said, all right, Jamal, you got him. One-on-one by yourself.
You know, it was a soundbite that I heard Westbrook say. They asked him about the friendship, obviously, of him and James Harden. You know, I just want to play this soundbite right here.
When I get on the floor, I got one friend, and that's the basketball. I've been like that since I was a little kid. My dad taught me that when I was younger. Once you get on the floor, you got one friend, and the friend is Spalding. At the time, maybe it was Wilson, or maybe it was some other The Rock, whatever the ball is.
It doesn't get no realer than that, yo. Like seriously, this as much as you love, you know, having a friend and the energy between you and him. First off, my friend knows my goals. You know, we're parallel. We share a bunch of that. So, you know, I always say in friends and confiding in friends, they understand each other. You know, when I would play against Chauncey and the Detroit team, I'm sure he was telling Ben and Rasheed pointers about whatever, and I was telling Rondo and all guys the same thing, and understanding that of what intensity this is about to be. Not trying to hurt either one of us because we have a respect there, but he knows how bad I want to win. He was my magic to you.
My teammate comes before any friend I got. My teammate come before my brother, you know. And when we trying to get that championship,
That's
my
all that
teammate
matters.
came before family.
Right.
My teammate was first.
Right.
My friendships and all that was after that.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Listen, this is something to be understood. You think it's psychotic, but this is the level, and this is how you think at this level. Yeah, playoff basketball. It's not to be it's to be understood. That's what it is. These are the levels of it.